there for a while and see if see what clings to it. Alright, so there's no smoking guns. Status update. I haven't found anything yet. Not in the oil, not in the oil filter, not in the head. So I really don't know where these needle bearings are. Either they're in the oil pan at this point, / windage tray, oil pickup, just somewhere in that area, or they were probably never in there to begin with. But I have a really hard time believing I missed that level of damage on a rocker before I installed it. Anything's possible, but nonetheless that doesn't leave me with a whole lot of options. So what's next is the engine's gonna come out. I'm gonna tear it down and see what I can find. Clean it up. It'll be a good visual inspection nonetheless. This is something I do pretty much annually at this point, but that's cool. So yeah, you've seen it before, so let's cue the cool music and the montage will begin. So, MSD, did you do this just for the sake of advertising? Because for some reason your plug wires, I mean, I know you advertise they have better grip, but I've never had my plug wires blow off of anything in my life, and I have literally had to cut MSD plug wires off in the past to get them off because they are just so thoroughly on. And they're not cheap either. So yeah, if you guys have ever had any issues or have any suggestions on how to make this easier, and don't say dielectric grease because that doesn't help. But yeah, love to hear your thoughts, comments, suggestions, whatever. Let me know. Occurred to me, this has happened to me every time in the past, but you never have to do any major work unless you have a full tank of gas, which I currently have a full tank of gas. Let me know if this has happened to you too, like if you have to do a fuel pump or something and you just filled up. It's the absolute worst. So if you got a story like that, please put it down in the comments.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm all out of time card.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
It's been several hours since I last talked to you. It's dark now. I went, picked up the engine hoist from Devon's place, had to wait for him to get off work. So now that I have the engine hoist, it's kind of changed pretty much my whole game plan. What I'm gonna try to do is hold up the nose of the engine with the hoist and undo the subframe. That should give me enough room to get the oil pan out. We'll see. It's almost just as much work as pulling the engine, but I mean, pulling the engine's pulling the engine, so I'm gonna try it this way first and hopefully it works. That's about how far the mount is out of the motor mount. I said 4 inches, but there's no way that's 4 inches. Other side's about the same story. The pan is off and the morning birds are chirping. That said, I don't think I got anything. I think this is a pretty damn clean oil pan. I'm gonna pull this off so I can better inspect the insides. Which other one? Yep. Alright. Found them. They are in the oil pan. I can feel them in there. Right about here. Yeah. Yeah. God, those suckers are tiny. Hopefully I have 33 of them. It's full moon. Alright, other than the full moon though, it is time to helicoil this head. If you don't remember, the head had 3 stripped out valve cover bolts, which caused a massive oil leak. It was really gross, nasty. There wasn't a hell of a lot I could do about it, except helicoil or threaded insert, because that's a brand name. I picked this up. Size isn't important, it's the right size. This is my first time doing one of these. I've just never really needed to, or I may do without. Sorry, that plane has been buzzing me all freaking night. I don't know what I'm doing. I've read the directions on the package, but I'm gonna do this. So first of all, this is to drill them out 1/4 inch, which I already got my drill and my 1/4 inch bit, so we're gonna do that. But first, I need to do something else. So, that's something else I was talking about. Y'all know what this is. It's a little red straw. I stick it inside the hole so I can see how deep I can go. So boom. I can go about that far in. Make a mark, because there's no point going deeper than I want to go. Alright, so that was the first dry run on the drill. It went pretty well. It was a little awkward drilling upside down, but I think it's going to be better in the long run, just because who wants to get metal shavings in their engine? And this is a valve cover, which is why I spent a ridiculous amount of time taping everything up. But it's pretty meticulously sealed up. So I'm going to punch 2 more holes in here. You've already seen me do 1. And then we'll move on to the thread. This is a tap. If you watch this channel for any length of time, I'm sure you're pretty familiar with them by now. The helicoil uses its own tap, basically. It's not a standard tap. It's completely different from anything else out there. I was pretty confused by that initially when I was trying to figure out what I needed to accomplish this job. I was trying to be frugal, and this kit was more than I wanted to spend, but it's what I needed to get the job done, so it's just the right amount, I guess. It goes just in just like everything else after you drill it out. It comes with this nifty little spinny tool that will also put the coil thing in. I haven't gotten that far yet, but yeah, I'll just shoot one of these going in for you guys. So you just find the hole, work it in as straight as you can. Once it bites, it will go through just about anything that might be in its way. Bit of back turn every now and then. That'll keep you from stripping it out as you go. Putting in the new threads. It's small. It looks like a spring, basically. Okay. Yeah, I don't see the tang anymore. So that's in. I don't know exactly what that's gonna mean for the torque spec on this. It's nothing. I want to say 106 inch-pounds. I gotta go back and check. Don't hold that. Cool. Let's do the other 2 and see if it worked. All right, I'm pretty happy with how that came about. Everything looks pretty freaking great. It was a lot easier than I thought it was gonna be. I mean, I didn't think it was gonna be hard, but you know, I'd never done it. There was that uncertainty, and it went quickly, smoothly. So let's drop the valve cover over here and see how this works. I don't know where, but I seem to have misplaced one of my valve cover bolts. We'll find out later. Okay, so this is the one that wasn't an issue. And it still threads on fine, not that I'd expect it to be any different. Okay, so let's try this one here. Yeah, it seems to be threading down. Should we just strip them all out again out of frustration? Alright everybody, so got the engine all back together. Got the trans on finally. That's never easy to do. But yeah, it's ready to go in finally. Well, back in. I thought right now would be a good time to bring up a few of the things you guys were critical about in previous videos. Well, probably not you guys. Those guys probably never subscribed, but screw them. They were lame. People really insisted that there was only one way to put the front cover on, and the way we did it wasn't gonna work. We haven't had any issues with it. No leaks, no noises, no grinding. It works right. It works well. I wasn't worried about that. I've done it the way I did it. The rear cover was good, but I expected that to be good. The oil pan, I will admit, that wasn't correct. It's got to be 18 foot-pounds on all of them except the two in the very back. But that said, it wasn't leaking there. It was fine. All the gaskets are reusable, so it wasn't a big deal taking any of this stuff off and putting it back on. That's another awesome thing about these engines. We didn't take too much time to go through and like walk you through this whole process of pulling it out and putting it back in and all of that, but you've seen that in other videos. It's a 98 Trans Am. I'm sure you've seen it happen before. If you're still here, thank you for watching up to this point. It's been a hell of a lot of work getting it here, but it needed to happen. It's gonna be really good. It's gonna run well. I'm excited. I feel like a lot of really beneficial things have happened. We've resolved the knock sensor issue, addressed the stripped out valve covers, replaced the messed up rocker arm, found all the bits of rocker arm, which I was able to count it all out. It's all there. A few other little odds and ends that aren't even worth mentioning. And everything looked really good. Inside was clean. The oil looked good considering there was little ball bearings in there, but it wasn't inside the engine. It was in the oil system. Don't even worry about that. Everything looked good. All the fluids look good. Alright, so if you want to see what's about to happen, just go watch video Hungry Hungry Hippos. It's the same exact thing except not this time. And that one came out really good. I really like that video. It doesn't get enough love, so definitely check it out. I think the title probably messed it up, but it's a great video. Check it out. Today. It's from Summit, so let's see what's inside this thing. Okay, cut. Lots and lots of bubble wrap snake. It's stronger than I am. Whoa! Look at that, my brand new training.
Nice cold steel.
Yeah. And then they'll ride like that. These are the solid style as opposed to the roller bearings. They're supposed to be a lot more reliable. Probably lose a little bit of horsepower from it, but reliability. And we'll just install this all with like a press or a bench vise.